Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help entrepreneurs to cut through the bullshit in order to create the life and business they desire. So today we're going to talk about getting your business to actually work for you. My chair is stuck on something back here and it's irritating me. Welcome to my life. It's a charging cord. Okay, anyways, real life coming at you. So when it comes to your business, right, one of the most popular reasons that people will start their own business is to, actually there's two, right, make more money and have more time freedom. Okay, those are the two main reasons that people start businesses, right? I really can't think of, those are the two biggest ones. Maybe to pursue a passion, but nevertheless, having more time freedom, making a greater impact, and having the financial freedom. So time freedom and financial freedom are the two biggest reasons that people will start a business, okay? And yet, they don't actually do the work prior to starting their business to ensure that those things actually come to fruition. And what do I mean by this? I mean, when people start their businesses, they get really excited about all the things. And I've seen this happen time and time again, where they treat their business like a job. And the thing is, businesses are not jobs. There may be jobs that you do in your business, but your business is not a job. So let me dissect this for you, okay? So I remember I was coaching somebody through this early on in my own business, and I said, well, how many hours a week are you working? And she said, well, just like 50 or 60 hours. And I was like, 50 or 60 hours a week or a month? And I've shared this story before, but it's necessary here. And I said, how much is your business paying you? And she said, well, I make about $1,000 a month. And I said, you do realize that you're legitimately making pennies an hour. You've done the math on that. And she hadn't. She had not done the math, because when I told her that she could go work at McDonald's and make more for her time than she was in her business, she was kind of insulted. And I thought, but this is necessary. You need this wake-up call. And then I hear the whole, well, I'm in the building stages of my business, so it's going to take more time. To an extent, yes, absolutely. But to be spending 50, 60 hours a week for $1,000 a month is a terrible use of your time. Not to mention the fact that it's going to set you up for failure. Because there's this thought process that goes through our mind that says time equals money. So if I want to make more money, I have to give up more time. And that sets us up for massive failure. Because if this person had stuck with this whole 50 hours a week, 50 hours a week, so 200 hours a month equals $1,000, she's legitimately getting, whatever that math is, what is it, $5 an hour? Yeah, $5 an hour, okay? Now, if she decides that she wants to make $100 an hour, can she convert that to enough time? The answer is no. She would never have enough time to be able to increase her income that way. And so you have to look at your business differently from a time equals money equation, because it is really the value you bring to others equals money, not the time. Time is just this lucky thing that you get, right? Like, the value that you bring to others can increase your money. It doesn't have to equate to the time that you spend in your business. And I see this all the time with very successful entrepreneurs where they're like, I worked 3 hours this week and made $1 million. Because they've honed in on the thing that they're really good at, and they've delegated everything else. And I've talked about this on previous episodes. As a business owner, we often do all of the things because it's our business, it's our baby, and we spend a whole lot of time doing stuff that somebody else could probably do better and faster and cheaper, but we hang on to it because it's our business, right? I know, it's fine. We've all been there. Now, my husband and I are starting a new venture, and it is him and I. That's it. Right? No bookkeepers, no marketing, no none of that other stuff right now. Now, it's because we're in the beginning stages and I want to know what this all looks like before I hand it off. Now, I am also not spending 50, 60 hours a week on this. This venture is getting 2-3 hours a day right now because I'm really good with my time. And I can sit down and go, okay, I'm going to try to figure this out. And I've got about an hour to figure it out. And if it takes more than an hour, I use ChatGPT like it's my job, where I'm like, okay, give me the breakdown of how I'm supposed to be able to do this, right? How do I figure this out? How can I create this? How can I import this? How can I streamline this? I want to make sure that I have systems in place so that this process, whatever this process is in the business, is efficient. I'm really good at this. So much so that my family knows me as the efficient driver in the family. Because I know what time to leave. I live in Virginia. The rest of my family lives in Massachusetts. And so I know the best times to leave. I know the best routes to take. And I know the best places to stop along the way that will allow me to be the most efficient getting from Virginia to Massachusetts and vice versa, right? I'm really good at this because the truth is I've started my businesses to allow for time freedom and financial freedom. I don't want to spend my whole day sitting behind a computer when the sun is coming out. I'm about to take my work outside and sit outside because I do have a few more things I have to do today. But I started my business for time freedom and financial freedom. Not to give me something else to do, because I'm going to be honest with you, I have plenty of things to do. My children think I'm their own personal assistant, and I have 4 of them, plus my husband. So I'm legitimately the personal assistant of 5 extra people. And then my own stuff, right? So how do you set yourself up for success from this right out of the gate? You make yourself a schedule. Legitimately make yourself a schedule. Figure out what it is that you're actually doing in your business and set aside time for those things, because the time on task will expand to the time that you have. This is why I set a lot of timers throughout my day. 20-minute timers, 60-minute timer, 2-hour timer. I have a 2-hour timer that I start the second I start cleaning the house. You know why? Because cleaning the house could take me all day if I had nothing else I needed to do. But I don't want to spend the whole day cleaning the house. And so I set a timer for 2 hours, and I've gotten it down to just over 90 minutes. Takes a little bit longer if I'm changing sheets and those kinds of things, right? But this is absolutely something that's going to be delegated when I find a new cleaning person, because mine left and made me really sad. Right? But nevertheless, I've set a timer. That is only taking me 2 hours a week. More than that is too much. And so there's other tasks. Yesterday I was in QuickBooks putting together a quote, right? Took me way longer than I thought it needed to. But I am in the learning stages of that. And so I have to start to create that system. And I can only create that system when I'm in the business and I know what's actually happening there. When I create content, batched worked, I know how long it's going to take me to do my podcast, my blog posts, and to upload all of that stuff. And then I schedule it out. In all honesty, it takes me about 2 hours to do all of my content creation for the week in my coaching business. Okay? So you've got to know what you're doing and about how long it takes you in order to start to streamline it and make it more efficient, because you want it to be efficient. You don't want to spend your whole day sitting behind a computer. I promise you that. The only reason you think that's necessary is because you're using a time to money equation. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I always have this conversation with potential clients at the very first call, or even my clients on their first call. How much money do you want to make? How much time can you commit to your business? And typically, they'll say 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is per month. And they usually start with part-time hours, about 20 hours or less. And then as I start to ask them more questions, they say, well, actually, I could do about 30, 35 hours. I could do 40 if I needed to, right? They begin to increase their time as I ask questions, because they're doing this time to money correlation. And it's not necessary. My first 10K month, I spent, 5 hours a week on my business. I think it was 10 max actually. So 40 hours a month for my first 10K month. And that was legitimate time in and on my business. 40 hours. It can be done. You have to be honest with yourself about the things that you're doing and how long it's taking. And then focus on making one of those things more efficient. Or delegate it out. Because honestly, it's costing you a bunch of money for you to just continue to do all of the things at some stage in your business. Maybe not right away, but at some stage in your business, you can delegate it out and somebody else can do it cheaper. I promise. That's a thing that happens, right? So get honest about what it is that you're doing, all the tasks throughout the week, daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly tasks, those kinds of things. And make a schedule for yourself. Not a schedule where you have to be locked and loaded into it and you can't breathe and experience any of the freedom in entrepreneurship. That's not what I'm suggesting, right? But maybe you work 2 hours in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. Maybe you work 3 hours in the morning and then you're done in the afternoon, right? I can typically have all of my work done by noontime, typically, depending on the day, right? And I start between 9 and 10 in the morning. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's great, Steph, but how much are you making? I don't know yet. Because this venture is new to me and I'm not entirely sure what it's going to produce, but I am letting you know. Being transparent with you in that, right? My coaching business is growing. And I don't spend an exorbitant amount of time on that, because I know that when I post, when I share my YouTube, my podcast, those kinds of things, that's my marketing, and people are going to be drawn to that. And they're going to reach out to me. And I don't do a whole lot of follow-up for people. You reach out to me, that's cool. We're going to have a conversation. Right? But my marketing, my podcast, my YouTube, that is me reaching out. And if it's aligned with people, they reach out to me. And we have a conversation, they sign up, and they don't, right? Like, I took the stress out of it because I made it so stressful before. Because I wanted my business to work for me. And so I had to redefine what business meant. Because if you stop working a job and you grow a business, you decide you want to be your own business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you leave a job, you want to be an entrepreneur, there's going to be some things that you have to redefine. What do you consider business? If it feels icky and gross to you, you're not going to be motivated to grow your business. I remember this when I first started my business. I was like, I want it to feel like a hobby because hobbies are fun, but you all keep telling me that I have to treat it like a business and not a hobby. Well, I have to define what business means to me. So business looks real different to me than other people. I have fun with it. It's not stressful. It's not a suit and a tie and a showing up at 8 a.m. and getting a half-hour lunch and working until 5. I don't want to do that. I've never been somebody to work a 9 to 5. I remember doing it one summer when I was in undergrad, and that was enough for me. It wasn't anything I wanted to do. And so I had to define what business is. Business is fun for me. I love talking business with people because I've defined it in a way that feels good to me. And business feels fun. And so, yeah, I'm going to show up for my business every day because it's fun. It's not this required thing. I get excited on Sunday night that I get to announce my podcast Monday morning going out, that I get to share on social media, because I know that there's someone reading it, someone listening to it, who's going to benefit from the things that I say. So if you want your business to actually work for you, you have to get very clear about the tasks that you're doing. And then begin to give yourself boundaries, right? The reason I started these boundaries, swear to God, this is exactly how it happened. I was working in MLM at the time, and it was not going well. I was that 50 hours a week for $1,000 a month kind of a person. And I remember checking my computer again for the 40th time to see if anyone had responded to my invites or my email, or like if anybody had wanted to work with me. I pulled open my laptop and I looked at it, and my oldest daughter at the time was probably about 7. She looked at me and she goes, "Mommy, why are you always on your computer?" And I thought, shoot, this is not what I signed up for. I didn't decide to, at that time it was an MLM, didn't decide to run a business so that I would spend more time on my computer as opposed to with my kids. And so I began to set parameters around it. I don't have email on my phone. I very, very rarely will check my email after my kids come home from school. I may glance at it before bed, but that's typically if I was expecting an email to come through. But typically after 2:30, I'm really not responding to email very often. And it's definitely not on my phone. But I had to set up that boundary for myself. And let me tell you, it has absolutely served me, because it's very rare that I have to leave being present with my kids in order to do something in the business. It happens sometimes, right? Sometimes I have to take a call on the way home from school and they're all quiet. They get it, right? But I've set it up in a way that my business is actually serving me, not the other way around. So again, get clear on what you do. Put together a schedule that you actually want. If you only want to work 20 hours a week, then make your work fit into only 20 hours a week. It can be done. It's going to take some time, but you can do it because you're actually creating this business so that you can have time freedom and financial freedom. So let it work for you. All right? If you have any questions about this resonated with you, or you want to dive deeper into this in a one-on-one, happy to have a conversation with you. Happy to help you get that together, because the truth is, when you have that structure, it allows for greater freedom and flexibility. And there's no denying that. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.